What's up, guys? Welcome back to Josh's Coding. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at data tables. So if we come to our content browser, the first thing we'll want to do is right-click, come to Blueprints, and create a structure. This is the structure that we will be using for our data table. So I'll just go ahead and call this struct example. If you didn't see the Blueprint 101 video where we covered structures, I highly recommend you check that out and then come back to this video. So inside of our structure, we'll just create a few variables. So I'll say health. Let's just imagine that we're creating, stats for an enemy here. Stamina, and let's just say damage. Of course, you can add however many variables you would like here, and they can be whatever you would like. And the default values, we'll set health to 100, stamina to 100, and damage to 10. We can then save this, and we're ready to create a data table. So if you come back to your content browser, right-click, come to Miscellaneous, select Data Table, not a composite data table, just a regular data table. It will ask you to pick row structure. This is where we can search for our new structure, struct example. We can then call this DT for data table underscore, I'll just say example. And when you open this, you will get a page that looks like this. So the first thing you'll want to do is hit this add button up here at the top, which will add a new row. So you can see we now get a new row with health of 100, stamina of 100, and damage of 10, as these are default values in our structure. So if you right click on this row, we can rename this, and we'll call this basic enemy. Now, for basic enemy, down here at the bottom, we can change the value of health, stamina, or damage, but since it's a basic enemy, we'll keep it as the default values. Say you want to delete a row, you can just right click it and hit delete. Additionally, if you select it up here at the top, you can hit remove. You can then also duplicate, copy, or paste the rows. So what I'll do is I'll just duplicate this row as an example. You can see we get this new row here. Of course, you can also just add a new row. So what I'll do is I'll rename this from basic enemy to, let's say, tank enemy. And now this tank enemy, we want to have its health as 200, its stamina as 50, and its damage as 5. So, additionally, what you can do is say you want to change the order of a data table. What you can do is you can right click and you can move the row to the top, you can move the row to the bottom. You can also do this for the row here, for example. We can move it to the top, we can move it to the bottom. When you want to insert a new row, you can choose to insert a row above or below. So let's say I want to create a new row above the tank enemy. I'll insert new row above, and you can see we get this new row in between basic enemy and tank enemy. We will call this fast enemy. And we'll set the health to 50, the stamina to 200, and let's say the damage to 15. Cool. So we now have the data for 3 different types of enemies inside of this data table, which is one convenient area to easily edit these variables. You can see why, a designer or even yourself may find it really nice to have all these variables in one spot, as opposed to needing to go to all 3 different blueprints to edit these variables. So how do we actually use these rows that we just created? Well, what I'll do is I'll create an example blueprint here. So I'll just say BP data table example. So there's a few nodes that you'll very often use with data tables. So if you do get data table row, these are the 2 main nodes you will use: get data table row names and get data table row. So get data table row names will give you an array of every single row inside of our selected table. So in the table, we'll just select our DT example. And then from here, you could do a for each loop and do whatever you would like for a specific row. So we can do a for each loop. And then here, you can do whatever you would like with this row name. You can check if it equals something. You can, from here, what you can actually do is get data table row. And then what you can do is pass in this array element as the row name. Select the data table as our DT example. And then we can get the values for the row that we just looked for. So if we just do get data table row, if we don't hook up this row name, we can just select the type of the row we want. Again, if you got to select your data table, and then you will get access to these. So when would you use each of these? Well, say you have a use case where you know for fact what row you're looking for in this blueprint, then you can just use this get data table row, and you can, set which row it is. This is good if you're trying to get the values of, multiple enemies. So say you were creating a information page UI that the player can look at. This is how you could make a UI category for each enemy and print out the health and the stamina and the damage so that the player can see, each type of enemy's health, each type of enemy's stamina, each type of enemy's damage. This would be a great way of doing that. So you can see here what I'll do just as an example. We'll just print out the health for this for each loop. And now we should see, if we drag in this example blueprint, we get 250 and 100. So we just got the health of each of our different enemy types. So again, this would be a great use case if you want to, create like an information page that displays all of the enemy stats. Now, if we come down here, what we can do, we can also add a print string, and we will split the struct bin and we'll print out health again. And we should get 50 because we're specifically looking for fast enemy. So now when we run it, we get 50 because we looked at the fast enemy. If we come back and select our tank enemy, it will now be 200, just like so. Now, one additional thing you can do is say you have a base enemy class in children of each of this enemy class, which presumably you will in this example. What you can do in the parent class is create a variable, and you can call it enemy type. You can create a name or set it to be a name, and you can then hook this up to this get data table row, and you can set this to your enemy type. So we can say we called it basic enemy, fast enemy, and tank enemy. Let's say this one is a fast enemy. You can then run this and you'll get 50. If we come back and we say, let's do a basic enemy, it will now be 100. So the reason this is a really good setup is say you have a parent class. You can create this variable in the parent class, then each child will have this variable. So in the parent class, begin play, you can do this, which means all children would also execute this on begin play, and they would just pass in their specific variable as opposed to needing to, um, go into each child class and manually set it like this. So I will actually give you a quick example of that so you fully understand, since this is a very useful thing to know. We'll say BP underscore child data table example. And I actually made this parent class an actor, so I'll just reparent that quickly to BP underscore data table example. So what we can do is in our event graph, if we just get rid of this stuff, if you come to the settings cog, you can show inherited variables. And then under variables, you'll see enemy type. So here we can say this is a fast enemy. And then on begin play, what you want to do is just right click this and add call to parent function. So what this does is essentially on this child actor's begin play, it calls the parent's begin play. So remember, this class is set to basic enemy. This class is set to fast enemy. So now if we drag in our child class, we will get both 100 and 50 printed because we're getting the basic enemy type from this and the fast enemy type from this. So 150. And again, the reason you would do this is because, first off, in this specific case, you just save needing to add this code to each child blueprint. Because say you add in a bunch of stuff after this, right? Say, you're setting variables, you're doing whatever you're doing, right? Imagine this is a full game. You have a bunch of code executing on begin play. You don't want to have to copy and paste that code. Otherwise, anytime you make a change to one, you'll have to make a change to all your different enemies' begin plays. So this is a great way to keep all your code in one place and just get the enemy type that you're looking for. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If it did, be sure to leave a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with the latest Blueprint 101 videos. If you have any questions about data tables, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer as many as I can. With that said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and good luck with your game.